Hey guys, my name is Nathan and I'm the representative of the Make Food Red group. Do you like the Chinese food you are getting at the MSU cafeteria? There are obviously a long line in front of the Chinese food station. But what if I can tell you that the real Chinese food tastes much better? Chinese food usually places a big emphasis on vegetables, which is more healthy compared to other American foods. If the cafeteria can make the Chinese food right, more people will have the chance to have a better and a more variety of food. And the choice will be much healthier. Our group are aimed to create a recipe for cooking bulk and a tasty Chinese food for the cafeteria. And if we can have more support, the school will hear us and we can make a difference. I'm a transfer student and I live off campus. I occasionally eat at MSU's cafeteria and I'm not satisfied with the food they provide. And all my friends are freshmen, which means they are forced to live on campus and buy a meal plan for their first year. I can only imagine what it's like for people who have to eat at the cafeteria every day for their whole freshman year. And the food served are really unhealthy, and they just have the same thing all year long. A study done by Amperman shows that people's eating behavior are heavily influenced by food liking, and more variety of food can improve eating behavior. So, being a student who grew up in China and worked in a Chinese restaurant for almost 3 years, I think that the Chinese food served at cafeteria can be improved. People can join our group or talk to the school so that we can have better foods at the cafeteria. Our group is trying to create the recipe for the cafeteria so that they can make the food more tasty, and people will have better and healthier choice when coming to the cafeteria. Most people who have tried Chinese food that already know that Chinese food tastes really good, but I can't say the same thing about the Chinese food at the cafeteria. It should be better and have more varieties. It is really easy to cook Chinese food, and the secret is just the sauce. We can just make the sauce different to create many more dishes. It may be hard to visualize, but if we can just study it Panda Express method, it shows that food cooked in bulk can and will be tasteful. What's more, the beauty of Chinese food is not only that we can make make the meat tastier, and also that Chinese food places a big emphasis on vegetables, so that most Chinese food have a lot of vegetables, and the vegetable actually tastes really good. I believe that in this way we can make the student eat more vegetables by cooking the Chinese food better. A study done by Diabetic Machine found that there are accurate effects was reported of eating vegetables before carbohydrate on postprandial glucose and insulin levels, and the long-term glycemic levels will improve in patients with type 2 diabetes. And what's more, investigations by a group of the Chinese scientists repeatedly show that the regular consumption of the dark green vegetables, tomatoes in particular, is related to reduced cancer risk. So I think without parent supervision, some students just gave up on eating greens when they first come to the college. I mean, everybody likes eating meat and cakes, right? But since most Chinese food don't provide nearly as enough greens for the students, the only good way to get vegetables is at a salad bar. But only a few students will eat at salad bar will eat a salad as their meal. Research done at the Grace University showing that although students live away from their family home had made some positive changes. They decreased their weekly consumption of fresh fruits, cooked and raw vegetables, oil fish, seafood, and olive oil. And there is a huge increase in their sugar, wine, and alcohol and fast food intake. So I believe that people have eaten at the Panda Express or other Chinese restaurant. you guys already know that the real Chinese food tastes really good. But for some people who never had Chinese food in their life, they have no idea that what the real Chinese what the real Chinese food tastes like. So I think they're actually missing out a lot, and if they think that the food served at the cafeteria is like what Chinese food really tastes like, I don't think they will ever go to a Chinese restaurant in the future, since like the food served at the cafeteria is like not really good. So this is hurting the Chinese food restaurant chain as well. I heard most of my friends complaining about the food they're getting at the cafeteria, and sometimes they would eat out, or they just eat instant noodles at the dorm, despite that they already paid for their meal plans. I have gathered some students who are passionate about cooking, and some people who have worked at the restaurant, so that who will know how to cook food in bulk. We are trying to develop some recipes that school can use to improve Chinese food at the cafeteria. You guys can join our group if you like to cook, and if you don't like cooking, please talk to the school and make complaints so that the school will know that there's a problem. There are thousands of Chinese food out there, but we are only getting a couple at the cafeteria, and we are missing out a lot. You can join our group at the MSU's website, or you can email me about like what you would like to see at the cafeteria, and we will try out people's different ideas. And at the meantime, you guys can talk to the school and let them know that you are not happy with the food at the cafeteria. And the Chinese food tastes much better, and you can actually enjoy eating vegetables. Don't let others miss out the opportunity to try the real Chinese food. 4 years is a really long time since that we have to spend the next 4 years eating at the cafeteria. We can spend a little time and make the journey much more enjoyable, and not gain the freshman 15 pounds. Let's be honest, we all know that eating vegetables is important, but how many of you have eaten salad regularly? We can make a difference today, and the school will listen to us. Thank you.